Do not have a guest of honor today.
All right.
So we can definitely lead off with a couple of questions. And
My
I know I have
favorite.
some things. I know.
Well, not really. I like dialing, but
They are. I know. Well, right now, what we're noticing with a lot of our trainings that we're coming across is a lot of people signing up for lead generation right now have never done it before. Okay,
really,
so really, yeah, never done it of this sort, right? So this is all new to them, and as much as we go through the different practices and what to expect and how to approach these leads, what would be a few key things that you would suggest to somebody that's coming new into lead generation to find success overall while they're working their database or actually doing any sort of lead generation?
wow, that's a loaded question.
I could break it down the number one thing, the number two thing, right? It's just things that you've obviously learned through practice,
years,
trial and error, right? And it just helps others to kind of say, okay, well, maybe that doesn't work. I was doing that, but that doesn't actually work. So maybe I'll change my focus.
Okay.
Yeah.
You still hearing me? You're good?
Yep. Yep.
All right. I'm actually going to go back to when I signed up for my lead gen back in the day. I really didn't know what to expect. And I thought, oh, I'm exchanging money for people that want to buy a house. So this is going to be easy. They're saying, I want to see this house. I'm going to call them, show them a house, and sell them a house. And that's what we think. We're going to invest money into internet leads of people that want to buy a house. And the misnomer about that is we think, just like every seller thinks their home is worth more than anybody on their block, we think we're different. We hear other agents talking about the leads and they're not able to convert it and these people aren't buying. But our mindset says, I can do that. These people are online buying. You're just not doing something right. So we do invest thousands of dollars into lead generation because at the end of the day in real estate, we can get our license. We can say we're selling homes, but how do people know that we're open for business? So it makes sense to optimize homes to get leads of people that want to buy a house. But where the expectation is cloudy is people are not looking to buy a house right now. And they are 100% curious about what is going on with the market, about their neighbor's house, about a house down the street, about a house in their neighborhood, about a house where they may be thinking about buying in the future. Because the internet has become such a, what word am I looking for? Place of investigation. You can Google anything. So people really look at giving you their phone number and their email address because they're used to it. It doesn't mean I'm looking to buy a house today and I want you to take me out to show me a home. So the quicker we can really grasp and understand that every single person that is willing to give you their phone number and their email address, our job is to find out what their plans or future plans are, not to sell them a house. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And if we think about our business, we are in a sales industry, a service industry. We do not have products sitting on a shelf. So we don't have inventory. We don't have value in a service industry business. Our value is within building that database of expectations of where these people are in the process. That's the value of our business. So when you're investing money into internet lead generation, you're investing into a long-term business, building your pipeline of your book of business to create relationships, to know when people's plans are. The more conversations we have, the more we are building our pipeline. But it doesn't stop there, because so many people have a real estate license. You can build a relationship with somebody that is in your database, but how can you lock them in to know that they are going to utilize you for the service when they need it? And that's where it gets really tricky, because we think this person wants to look at a house, or this person wants to put a sign in their yard. But the reality is, it's in how we communicate with them during the process. Now, it's been proven that the average person does business with the first agent they speak to. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there, and the unfortunate thing is, nobody has any commitment to anyone anymore, because this is a very 2023 self-centered generation. It's whoever makes it convenient for me when that time is right, that's who I'm going to do business with. So the importance of having those conversations and maintaining that contact and getting them at the right time. So where we leave the meat on the bone, I like to say, is we have that great conversation, we park them in the database, and then we never call them back again. And that is where we're not going to increase our conversion, because you are not positioning yourself to be at the right place at the right time. If we use our tasks properly with the right mindset and for the purpose of checking in when they tell us to. So it comes down to asking those right questions. Okay, you may not be looking for a house now, but what are your future plans? Well, probably 3 years, whenever I'm going to be retiring, or when my kids are graduating from university. Great. You're online looking now. What can I do while you're in that information gathering process? Because I know you have a ton of options to utilize other agents. What can I do to ensure that we can stay communicative through this process? What are you looking for in a real estate agent? And if we really think about it, when we see people walk into our restaurant, Crystal, we literally, let's just say Valentine's Day. How many restaurants in your area do you have the opportunity to go to for a birthday, for a holiday? Tons. What made you choose our restaurant tonight for your special occasion? And if we look at the leads in our dashboard with that mindset, what is going to make you utilize my services? Because I know there's thousands of agents right around your, I mean, it literally, if you put like agents around me, like if you could literally do agents near me and it would pinpoint like you do like AT&T near me, I mean, right? I mean, it would be pinpoints everywhere. So we have to ask them what their needs are, and sometimes they don't even know. So then it's like, okay, well, you don't know, but when would you like me to check back in with you? And that is how you really, truly, properly set yourself up. Because here's the thing, customer service is crap. So the fortunate thing is it doesn't take much to deliver good customer service. And the really fortunate thing is it doesn't take much to deliver exceptional customer service. When you follow up and you follow through and you do what you say you're going to do, that is what's going to blow people away. And go that extra step. What are your hobbies? What are your interests? What are your likes in this community? Stay connected. Hey, I know that you like, I'm looking at a Palm Beach tan. I know you like to go tanning. Oh my gosh, I was just at Palm Beach Tan. I was thinking of you because they have a great special. I don't know where you tan, but they have a great special. That's like a crazy, stupid example, but
Yeah.
I think it
It's
kind of drives
referring,
it home,
yeah,
right?
it's referring back to an initial interaction or an interaction where you took special care and attention to documenting that so you can leverage it in follow-ups
Yes.
or use it as a reason for future communication.
Yes. Veterinarians, doctors. I mean, anything that would help somebody to learn more about community. Because I think everyone somewhat likes to be plugged into community, and everyone likes to know what's going on in community. So if you can be that point of contact to let them know, oh, hey, there is a farmer's market going on in that area. I just thought you might want to know that you can go visit the farmer's market. Or if there is whatever event is going on, just find a reason to stay connected with people, because it's just like Coca-Cola. When Coca-Cola is in front of your face, in front of your face, in front of your face, you don't think about Pepsi. You're just like, oh, give me Coke. And that's really that brand reinforcement and giving people something that they want without trying to give steak to a vegetarian. I love steak. That's my favorite meal when I go out to eat. But if someone was trying to sell me fish all the time, I'd be like, unsubscribe, delete. I want steak. So we really have to be in tuned. And the one misnomer is it's conversion. And I'm like, no, it's conversation. And then it's what you do with the conversation, how you organize that dashboard to not lose anybody. And that's where the gold is.
And it's not easy for many to do it. It takes practice.
It's because we are out and about. And if we're busy agents, we're out showing homes, we're out driving around, we're out at home inspections, and you're having conversations. And then the last thing you feel like doing when you get home is going back and putting those damn notes in. But those damn notes is what's going to make you the money. So you really do have to condition yourself to create new habits to set yourself up for success. So when you're buying lead gen, you're not just exchanging dollars for names. You're literally creating a lifestyle into your business that is going to be one of your legs of business. One of your legs of business. You need 3 other legs to really substantiate a strong foundation for your business. This is just one leg. If you put all your eggs in this basket, I promise you, you are going to be disappointed in 3, 4, 5 months, and you're going to be mad at AgentLocator because they didn't perform. But I promise you, that's not it. It is a lifestyle that you are bringing in a leg of business, and it 110% warrants perfecting. So when you bring in a leg of business, you want to work it, perfect it, get your systems down that are duplicatable before you move into a second leg of business. Because that's a mistake we all make. We're all like microwave mentality, like, oh, good idea, let's go do this. And then you don't really finish it and maximize it and create the systems behind it. And then you jump onto something else because, oh, there's a shiny object, let's do this. Oh, but then you left this one kind of lingering and you didn't really maximize it yet. And it's only like running at half mass. And then you call AgentLocator, say, shut my leads off. I'm backed up. I haven't called anybody. This isn't working. So to prevent that, it is truly understanding this is not a get rich quick thing. Can you get lucky? 100%. Because you never know why that person logged on today to look at that property. You have no idea what their intention is. But be patient with them. Treat them with respect, because they can be your future buyer. But if we're like, oh, I'm not buying it, I'm just looking. If you leave it at that, that's exactly what it's going to happen. Everybody is just looking. Who in the hell wouldn't buy a good deal if it came by? Everybody would buy a good deal if it came by and they could afford it. Everybody is just looking. But what are the intentions? Why are you just looking? What are your plans in the future, if I had a crystal ball and everything was perfect and in alignment, what would it look like for you? And then our job is, well, shoot, if I could get you into that payment, if there was a home that met your expectation and I could get you into that payment, is it something that you would do sooner than later?
Mhm.
Yeah, well, is there opportunity in the market? And that's our job, is to be strategic and ask those questions of just, the only way a sale happens is when expectation meets opportunity. So if there's an opportunity in the market that meets the buyer's expectation or meets the seller's expectation because they want a certain price for their home, if I could get you that price for your home, would you sell today? Can the market bear that? Yes, it's a simple yes or no. Is it worth testing? Are they in that are they in that, like, maybe a $50,000 price range that might be worth testing?
Mm-hmm.
So it does warrant conversation, because sometimes sellers and buyers get a little confused as to what they truly do want, because it is a big investment and it's scary. And that fear of the unknown, especially in the market that we're in right now, there's not a lot of inventory. People are afraid to put their homes on the market and be homeless. So what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Do I find the house? Do I look to see if there's truly a home out there that could work? Or do I wait? I don't know what to do. Do I put my home on the market? And that's what our job is to really work through that process. And you can't take that. Okay. I'm like, don't take my hotspot. And to work through that process and just ask questions to find out what is, as I always say, the rocket shoe.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to be the solution to the problem, but we have to find out what the problem is.
Mm-hmm. Just
So
those extra levels of customer service, really, at the end of the day, it's not the get rich quick. It's how we're going to take this person and treat them as our little egg, and we've got to nurture it until the point of it actually hatching.
Yes.
Right. And sometimes there are people maybe actually ready to hatch sooner than they think. They just don't know because it's the unknown. And then it's very overwhelming. It's a big process. It's a lot of money for many individuals. Right. And a lot of people need hand holding.
Yep. And it really does come down to your personal business strategy and the importance of, I can't stress enough, having 3 months of reserves, because this is real estate. You are always going to have a shift in the market. And if you think you're not, you're fooling yourself. Mm-hmm. The pendulum swings: buyer's market, seller's market, buyer's market, seller's market. Whoop! It's going to get stuck in one of those pendulums for a little while, because it can't always keep continuing to increase in price without it going, okay, enough's enough. Interest rates change, prices change, buyers can't afford. There's a what word am I looking for? There's a ceiling, right? That prices go up because it's a seller's market, but then they've gone up so much that now buyers can't afford the mortgage. Sellers want to sell, but buyers can't buy right now until the adjustment happens, and mm-hmm. that's where the shift happens. So strategically within your business, you have to know your market, and you mm-hmm. have to know the struggles that every single person that wants to buy and wants to sell are going through. Once you understand the struggles and you can really explain what's going on, you've now become the solution. And that's mm-hmm. what's going to get you through the shift, because we mm-hmm. have to move with the times. And coming into real estate right now, if you're investing thousands of dollars into AgentLocator and you have no money behind you, you're just setting your own self up for failure. Because the reality is, you have to have money to make money if you're going to be investing. Because it's not just a get rich quick. It's not like, hey, I'm going to open the doors and everybody's going to buy all my stock and then I'm going to have all this money. You have to restock, you have to replenish.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, I mean, it's the same thing. It's you're buying your stock, you're buying your inventory, but you have to sell that inventory to buy more inventory. And when you're buying that right now in the shift of a market, there's markets where it goes much quicker.
Mm-hmm.
There's also markets where it goes much slower. I mean, we just came out of a market where every single person you talked to seemed like they had an agent, because they're online looking, because I mean, we're having multiple offers. I mean, heck, it was nothing to have 30 some offers on a property.
Mm-hmm.
And buyers are getting so frustrated, they think if they start searching, they're going to find something their agent doesn't know about, which is why we were getting that. So then what was the problem? Okay, well, do you fully 100% trust that the agent you are working with is writing the offers for you to win? Have they explained to you how to structure an offer to win? Because it's not all about just offering more money. There's a lot of other things in an offer that you can really set yourself up to win. Have they really explained to you, or are they just increasing the price? So when you know the problem, you can come in with a solution.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really where the fun starts. But we get so aggravated because we seem to be having conversations. Leads are coming in, but nothing's going in the bank account.
Mm-hmm.
You really need to have that backup of, how do people know you are open for business? What is going to make someone use your services when there's 50 million other agents in your market? What is your value proposition? And once you figure that out, that's how you can start building your legs. But I promise you, any type of lead generation, you're building that book of business, you're building that database. And that old saying, it holds so true. You may be in real estate, however, you're really in the database gathering business. And it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
We have Mardi Gras, right? Like New
Yeah.
Orleans, Mardi Gras, right? Fat Tuesday. Mark was on the news, Fox 5 that morning, and it just flooded our restaurant because, Paul Milliken says you got to come out and eat this food. And I just crack up because it's that brand recognition. It's that authority, right? Our food was the same the day before, just people didn't know who we were. They didn't know that the restaurant existed. But when it goes on TV and people are like, oh my God, there's Cajun food in Atlanta. Oh my God, whoosh.
Yeah.
How can you be that? How can you have that third-party endorsement? How can you be known by an authority figure to really substantiate your value? And get creative. Your friends want to tell people.
Mm-hmm.
But I even know for myself, I'm not going to call up my friend and go, hey, Crystal, I just got my real estate license, or, hey, I just came out of a really shitty year and I didn't sell any homes last year. I'm looking to sell 15 homes this year. Crystal, can I rely on you that if you're out talking to anybody, that you would just let them know that I'm open for business and I would love to help them? And I would just love, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I love your friends and family. Would you refer? But we're too afraid to ask that, and there's 25 people I see on here. Well, minus two of us, but
yeah.
Just by a show of hands, how many people have done that over the last week, over the last month, over the last year, since you've been in business? Have you called a friend? Have you called a family member and told them your goals? Everybody wants to help, but all we got to do is ask.
Mm-hmm.
Because what's so funny is people just assume. And I've had people say, well, Bev, I didn't ask you to sell my home because I know how busy you are. Hello? Right? And you're like, dumbass, like, what sense does that make?
Yeah.
That's what people think.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to educate them. And that was the best thing one of my real estate coaches ever said is, why don't you have more listings? I'm like, I don't know. Why don't I? Because they don't know you're an option, Bev.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, true point, right? So how can you get yourself out there in front of more people and not 100% rely upon Agent Locator, rely upon Agent Locator to build your book of business, to build your database, to communicate with your database so that you can keep it organized so that you do not lose anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Keep your priority people tasked. Keep your not so priority people tagged on the store of the grocery shelf. Did that make sense? Tagged on the grocery shelf. You all know what I meant though. I'm like, it made no sense, but it made sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tagged on the shelf of the grocery store. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah. And use your filters. That's why they're there.
Filters to
They're
search.
there. Yeah. Most people, it's once they gain that understanding of how they work, are relieved at how much easier it is to manage their database, because now they have a systematic approach to what they're doing, and they eliminate a lot of the workload on the day-to-day basis. Right? Whereas if you're not using filters, you're opening up a dashboard, there could be 1,000 people in there. You're like, where do I even start? Right? Or we're only going after the ones that are active today. Well, there's going to be a bunch that aren't. Yeah. Yeah. So it's, organization is key, and it'll also help prevent those leads from slipping through the cracks, because they're not all going to be active all the time because their motivations are all different.
Yes.
Right. But we still have to stay on top of them and keep ourselves top of mind. And that's where all your filters actually help with that, because they will pull up individuals that aren't necessarily active that you should be engaging with.
And it's so vital. And it's funny now being in the restaurant industry, we actually just brought on a company, Crystal, that kind of does what Agent Locator does in the restaurant industry.
Okay.
And it's more money than real estate. It's really expensive. And how we're acquiring the leads and keeping them coming back, not many people comprehend it and understand it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's even my husband, I'm like, but you don't understand. We have an event. How do people know we have an event?
Mm-hmm.
Because not everybody's looking on Facebook. Not everybody's looking on Instagram. Not everybody is in our restaurant the month prior when we have the sign up on the door. How do we have 6,500 people that went through a reservation system that went into our database. Last year, when we had the event, there was no way for us to communicate with them at all. This year, we were able to blast text messages and blast emails. Mm-hmm. And we had the biggest day our restaurant had ever seen for that event. And that's the value. Mm-hmm. But you have to work it. It's not going to work for you. And it's truly finding out what these people want. And what I love about a database is don't be so narrow-minded to just keeping it to homes. Start networking with other businesses. And this is where the brilliance is. Everybody wants a freaking coupon. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants a free appetizer. Everybody wants a free dessert. Work with your local restaurants. Work with your local small businesses and say, hey, how can we help each other? I have a database full of 1,000 people. I would love to market for you. And I would love to offer them something. Get creative with your community and start building your community. And I promise you that small business, if they have a best friend that's an agent, they're going to appreciate you and they're going to utilize your services because you cared enough about them to go to them. So our database is not just there to sit there. And to Crystal's point, when you're using the tags and when you're being able to identify every conversation you've had based on the filters in your system. So let's just say, for example, give me a town in Canada. Crystal, just give me an area. Give me a location, a community.
Markham.
Okay. Markham, because every community always does. Markham, I'm sure, has small businesses on one street.
Mm-hmm.
You could go from door to door to door to door to door and say, hey, I am looking to market to my database and I want to be able to market my community. And that's where I was. I sold homes, but I sold my community.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to promote my neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
So when there are events now in Markham, Crystal, do they have and I don't know if Canada does this, do they have like third Thursdays or fourth Fridays where they kind of shut down a road and have a band and do all the stuff on the street?
Maybe in the summer they do, and it depends on the community, and how much of as well as like a tourist hotspot that is. But a lot of them will do it in the summer because obviously the winter isn't fun to do that. But it varies from city to city or town to town, of course.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's huge being part of. Now, do you have Chamber of Commerce's there? Do you have like lead networks? And we even had what is it called? I don't know. It was like I don't want to say entertainment society, but they had like a whole group that just did events for the town.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of in alignment with the chamber, but they were kind of in competition with the chamber.
Yeah. Okay.
But get involved.
Mm-hmm.
Have fun.
It's a simple way to do like a weekly spotlight. Like that's one way to approach it. Like every week I spotlight different businesses and send that out to my database, and often like to add incentives as well for them to come see you. But it's a great way for the community to learn about the businesses that are in the town or the city that they're looking to purchase in. They don't necessarily live there, but you're now making them aware, and it's a win-win because you're giving them yourself a reason to reach out to your database, and they're gaining something from you at the same time because they might get something free or free appetizer or whatever it might be, and the business is getting recognition, which they're going to also like.
Yep. And that's the thing, right? When you utilize social media and you start getting linked into groups that have a lot of people in them, word spreads like wildfire. So if you're going and doing a spotlight on a particular new restaurant, if you're doing a spotlight on a new business, whatever it may be, and you tag that business, everyone that is friends with that business sees you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you continue to do that, it's that brand awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Crystal's freaking everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
everywhere I look
videos.
at social media, Crystal is everywhere. And if you can get those shares, if you have quality content, it will get shared and people will be recognizing that.
Oh, for sure. Right. So you can make even like video, you can do it a blog, like you went there, if it was a clothing shop, right? And what you liked about the line of clothes that they carried or the level of service you received, or if it's a restaurant, some of the dishes and the service that you received there. There's a lot of different ways that you could go about doing it while increasing your own social media presence by creating the content, right? Which naturally draw people to you. People like influence. A lot of people are followers out there, right? So as soon as you gain that influence, they will follow and you'll naturally earn their business because they want to be just like you or just get to meet you. Right. So if that means hiring.
True story. And this is what I love about learning about a different industry and being able to blend it. Mm-hmm. There is a Facebook group here called What's Happening in Gulf Shores. Mm-hmm. Thousands of people in this Facebook group. Mm-hmm. The restaurant that we bought is opening and running and going, right? So the previous owner posted, congratulations, Mark and Bev, they've taken over, blah, blah, blah. It got shared like 38 times everywhere. Mm-hmm. So 2 days later, I popped up my husband's bio of welcome to the new chef in town, blah, blah, blah. It's now right now, my phone broke, so I didn't know. But the last time I looked, it was shared 27 times. We walked into the county office for our business license. And we walked up and my husband goes, so we just bought a business. She goes, yeah, I know you just bought the galley. I recognize you. Your picture's all over Facebook. Mm-hmm. It just takes being connected. Find your connectors in your community and utilize their relationships because it's huge. it's that I can sit here and say how much I know about calling leads. I can sit here and tell you stories about what I've done. But when Agent Locator says we're bringing Bev on because she's done this, 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 and this, it's way more powerful coming from Agent Locator and Crystal than it is coming from me. And that's where finding your audience that is going to shout from the rooftops, oh my God, Crystal is the best real estate agent in this area. And it's much easier to attract than chase.
Oh, for sure.
And the level and quality of clients when you attract are way different than chasing. Because when we're chasing, we're hungry and we will accept whatever it is right in front of us. And that's when kind of shit can go bad because you take on a client that you may not should have. And then it becomes like oh my God, I'm so glad that went to closing. I don't ever want to see you again. I don't even want you in my database. But when we are attracting, it's a whole different ballgame because people already want to use your services and there's not as much competition. So it's really, truly when you are looking at getting into lead generation, it's more than just a conversion. It's 100% knowing your market and the problem that your ideal client is having, what's keeping them awake at night, what is preventing them from moving forward, what is the rock in their shoe. When you know your market enough, you can become that solution and market directly to what's keeping them awake at night. And then that's your value. But you truly have to know your market, have some money in reserves. And the rule of thumb is 3 months. Whatever your expenses are in your business, you have to have 3 months of those expenses. So when you hit a shift, you're not broke. You have reserves to go back on, because usually it takes about 3 months for the market to kind of get stable again and start moving. And I know right now, our market, I mean, interest rates aren't that bad right now. There's a whole scare of, oh my God, they're going to go up, they're going to go way up. And I'm like, it's only a couple bucks. I mean, it's not that much. It's not crazy.
The media scare.
Yeah. Yeah. So now we're leveling out. Now we just need inventory. We need inventory because buyers still want to buy.
Nope,
but it's
absolutely. And again, kind of going back on your market knowledge, that also helps gain confidence in the conversations you're having as well. So when you're talking to a lot of those individuals that are giving you some of their criteria, it allows you to provide insight on what they're asking for. You may not have a solution in the area that they're looking in, and then kind of discuss what their options or what they could be potentially getting for that money, or where they might want to shift to. If that's what they're looking for, they're not ready to change what they're looking for, then, well, we might have to change where you're looking for it. So all of that helps to, gain the trust from the lead, and knowing that you're there to, not just sell to them, but actually take care of them to allow for them to make an educated decision.
And please, if you remember nothing when you're having conversations, remember this. It's not about how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, the size of the lot. It's how much do they want to be paying a month in a mortgage? What is their current situation? How much are they paying right now? How much equity do they have? Is it something that can happen in the market? And it's so easy to get listing appointments. And, it's way more expensive to pay for seller leads, way more expensive. And they are way more difficult to convert. So utilize the buyer campaign, because most of them are sellers that are looking to see what's going on with the market.
This phone now.
But I can't switch, honey.
Oh, okay. No problem.
Yeah, I can't switch in the middle of.
I'm sorry.
He's like, your phone's ready. You can hotspot now. I'm like, no, I can't. So when you're gathering information, find out, do you have flexibility? How much are you paying right now? How much
Mhm.
is your rent? Or how much is your mortgage payment? Do you want to keep it at that, or do you have flexibility? Because here's the thing that a lot of people don't know. They may not know how much equity they have. Do you know how much equity? Do you know what a buyer would pay for your home right now if they brought an offer? And if they say yes, they're lying. So, do you mind? I would love to just sit down and educate you. I won't even bring I won't even bring the listing paperwork. I just want to educate you on the market, just so you know. So if you're online looking, you have factual numbers. And then we have a baseline. So you may not be buying in 6 months or a year, but now we have a baseline. So in 6 months, we're going to know exactly where we were to where we
Mhm.
are. Are things improving or are they worsening? Is that a word? Is no.
I don't know.
It worked.
Yeah.
So yeah, just really get to the root. But we're so quick to, okay, well, how many bedrooms do you want? How many bathrooms? Okay, I'll set you up with a
Mhm.
surgeon, send them to you.
Yeah.
Really, if the people have no money, if the people have no intention, doesn't matter how many bathrooms, how many
Mhm.
bedrooms, location.
Yeah.
We have to make sure, how long have you been in your home? If you're renting, are you month to month or are you in a lease term? Do you plan on buying at the end of your lease term? And then educate
Mhm.
them on that process.
Mhm.
Because some renters don't understand that they skip a mortgage payment, right? Because if you go to closing, if you go to closing right now, you might not, but if you go to closing mid to end of month, you've already paid that mortgage payment, so you're going to
Mhm.
skip.
Yeah.
So they don't realize that they can start actually looking a month to 2 months prior to their lease being expiring.
Mhm.
And so that's up to us to educate them on that. Because if they wait too long, and I've had this happen, they've waited too long to go look at property, and then they have to be out of their rental and they don't have time to go through a settlement, find a house and go through a
Mhm.
settlement.
Mhm.
And they end up signing a new lease and you lose a buyer.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you remember nothing, just remember it's not about the type of home, it's about the money. And don't feel bad asking them. You're not asking them for financials, you're just trying to protect their budget.
Mhm.
And that's why I kind of like going in that like soft back door. You know, how much are you paying a month? Are you trying to keep your new payment around about that? Well, how much equity do you have? So yeah, prices have gone up, but if you have equity and we had the opportunity to take that equity and cash it into another house and we kept your payment the same, would that be something that would interest you? Yeah.
Mhm.
But we assume they know. We
Oh
just
yeah.
take their word for it. No, I'm not going to be moving until, the market changes. Well, what does that mean? The
Mhm.
market changes to what? What does a market change mean to you?
Mhm.
Well, until prices come down. Okay, let me ask you, Mr. Seller, if you're waiting for prices to come down and they don't come down, are you going to have to move in 2 years? Or is it just kind of a want to? No, I have to move. Okay, well, if prices don't come down and prices are where they are and they continue to go up, what are you going to do in 2 years? Well, I'll worry about that when I get there in 2 years. Well, let's just talk about it right now. If it was something you could make happen and you literally exchanged to create the lifestyle that you want for the reason that you're moving, is it something you would do sooner than later? And I promise you, the majority of people say yes. They just don't think it's an option because they're so mindful of what the price is and what the interest rates are. They don't want to overpay. I don't want to buy when the interest rates are high. Why the hell not? If it meets your monthly budget, what's the problem?
Mhm.
So that's where you find out the seriousness of if they have to move or if they want to move.
Mhm.
And that's a question I love to ask. Do you have to move or do you want to move? Is it a have to or a want to? Well, it's a want to right now that will turn into a have to.
Mhm.
Then you're getting somewhere. Well, when's the have to?
Yeah.
Because if the situation is this right now, when you have to, what are you going to do? If you're going to make a payment over the next year, would you rather be investing in something that is your long-term toe tag home? Or do you want to continue to invest in a home that you know you're going to be selling? It's an eye opener. It's truly an eye opener.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to be educated in our market to be able to ask those questions, to be able to have that conversation. And it's a very deeper level conversation than, well, how many bedrooms do you want? How many bathrooms do you want? Okay, well, I'll set you up on a search. Let me know when you find something.
Mm-hmm.
That's what every agent does. And that's why I said this is the opportunity and the yay that customer service is so bad, because it doesn't take much to be a little bit better. So instead of, hey, let me know when you find something, when do you want me to follow up with you, Crystal? When would be, I know you're like 6 months to a year down the road, but you want to receive the listings. How and when do you want me to check back in with you? And I can't believe how many people say in a couple of weeks. You're like, what? Why? In a couple of weeks, like, what for? Okay, great. Now, if I check in with you, do you want me to send you a text? Do you want me to call you? An email? How do you want me to check in with you? Oh, you can give me a call. Great. If you don't answer the phone, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to leave a voicemail? Do you want me to just hang up and text you? How am I going to know that you got my voicemail? How am I going to know that you got my text message? Are you going to reply back if you want me to check back in 2 weeks? You promise that you'll receive that. So now you've kind of set them on a, well, I feel bad if I don't respond. So I like to remove every excuse and every objection before it becomes it. Because what happens when we follow up and we follow up and we follow up, they ghosted me.
Mm-hmm.
You throw them away. But maybe they're just freaking busy. Maybe their mom died. Maybe their dog died. Maybe their kid was in a car accident. Maybe someone lost a job. Maybe they went on vacation. Life freaking happens. It's not just because you called, they have to pick up the phone. You ain't that important. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
We think we are, but we're not. So we truly have to set that expectation. When do you want me to follow up? How do you want me to follow up? And then make a joke about it. If I text you 3 times, Crystal, and you don't get back to me, I'm going to blow up your phone. And that's exactly what you get. They're going to laugh.
Mm-hmm.
But you're kind of serious.
Yeah. At the same time.
Right? Have fun with it. And people appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
But by God, do it. And that's where we fail. We don't follow up and follow through. We are salespeople. We are great at overpromising. Because in the moment, I'll tell you everything I can to win you over. But as salespeople, we lack in the follow-up. And that's what we have to make that mental change, is learning to really fall in love with that process and do sometimes the things that we don't like to do, unfortunately. Because I was always attached to the outcome and I never enjoyed the process. So when I stopped being attached to the outcome and started enjoying the process, it changed the game for me. Because you truly learn to start listening to people. You truly learn to really start caring about people and their intentions and their stories and their life and what's going on. And then people don't give a shit how much you know. They want to know how much you care. And the only way that we can show them how much we care is to tell them, we'll call you in 2 weeks, and call them. And do exactly what you say you're going to do. And I promise you, people will be blown away. Because nobody does it anymore. It's very sad.
Nope, they don't. A lot of promise callbacks. They just don't happen. It's actually amazing. It's astonishing how many times that the overpromises and underdelivers. That's for sure. We have one additional question. It kind of ties into this a little bit. And it surrounds the whole, trying to get these people to commit to you. So whether you're requesting them to sign any kind of buyer representation, or maybe just, trying to facilitate what I can do so that you choose me, what would you do in handling the objection of somebody saying, well, we're not ready to actually work with an agent yet, or we're not ready to commit to any kind of specific agent?
And that really does depend on where they are in the process, because
Mhm.
at the end of the day, the line that I like to use is, that's okay. I don't want you to commit to me. I want to earn your business. What can I do to earn your business? And that buyer agency agreement is not locking them into you.
Mhm.
It's locking you into doing your freaking job.
Mhm.
So if we even again change our mindset to, I want to get them to sign the buyer agency agreement because I want to ensure my commission. F that. I want you to sign this so you can hold me accountable to my job. My job is to find you a home. My job is to sell your home. This contract that I'm asking you to come into has nothing to do with locking you in, because you can fire me in a nanosecond. And
Mhm.
please promise me, if I do not uphold your expectation, I will let you out of this agreement, because I want to earn your business every day. I'm sorry. And I mean, that's really what it comes down to, is you want to earn their business,
Mhm.
and asking them, what is that going to take? And using that agreement as, this is protecting you, not me.
Mhm.
It's actually forcing me to do my job, especially for sellers. That is the number one complaint I get from every seller. The last agent, they put a sign on my yard. I never heard from them again. If you sign this listing agreement, you're holding me accountable. Set the expectations. Let
Mhm.
them know this is what I'm willing to do. You want me to call you every Monday and give you an update, Mr. Seller? I will call you every Monday. And if I don't, you fire me. Pretty strong words.
Mhm.
Mr. Buyer, I will be checking in with you. You said that you love to look at properties on Tuesdays. But here's the thing. If a property comes on the market on a Wednesday, you might not be able to wait till Tuesday. So is it okay if I call you and say, hey, we got to go? What can I
Mhm.
do for you? So set those expectations up according to their needs. My husband is a phone caller. If an agent came up to him and started texting him, he'd be like, why can't they just pick up the freaking phone and call me? What's this texting stuff? Find their form of communication and communicate with them
Mhm.
the way they want to be communicated with, not the way you like to do communication with.
Mhm.
And that's how you're going to win people over. So I'm sorry, it's not about you.
Mhm.
It's all about them, and letting them feel that it's all about them by listening and by asking questions. It's going to benefit their best interest. And that's how you build, because referrals go a long way when you care about people and truly feel it. And that's why I always joked whenever I went on listing appointments and I would turn listings away. I got more referrals from the listings I turned away than the ones I took and sold,
Mhm.
because they were truly starstruck of, wait, you're not putting a sign on my yard, you're just not putting a number on my, no, I don't want to create history. If I know that sign's going to be sitting here for 6 months, let's just wait 6 months and see what happens in the market. I don't want to overprice you. Now there's 20 other agents that I could give you their numbers, and they will put a sign in your yard,
Mhm.
and they will put your home on the market, and they will create your history. And then you're going to be stigmatized. And then I'll see you 6 months later. And then we're going to be a completely different price. What if the market goes up in 6 months? But you're sitting on the market at a said price, you're stagnant. No one wants to look at your property. They're looking at the new ones that are coming on the market. So there's something wrong with you. Be honest.
Mhm.
Don't try to put that square peg in the round hole and overpromise, because it is not worth it in any iota. So it's just asking them, what can I do for you? And it's my job.
Mhm.
So by you committing to me, that's holding me accountable to do my job. Because I know there's 100 agents out there that you could call right now. But this, I promise you, being in this industry, I hate real estate agents because only a fraction of them truly care about the home and your investment. There's so many of them, they're just in it for the paycheck. It's not about the paycheck for me. That will come. If I'm helping enough people get what they want, it's going to come back to me. And if you go on a home inspection and that house, is a shambles and it's not a good investment for your client, you should be doing your due diligence to let them know, is this something that you really want to take on expense wise? When we sat down and we talked about expectations, you didn't want to have to fix a hot water tank or have to put on a roof. I know this is a great deal, but in 6 months to a year, do you want to invest that money? It's a good deal. So just so you can sleep at night.
Mhm.
And that's what people are looking for, but they don't know it because the average person that's looking at homes, they think just because you have a real estate license, you can sell a home. But we all know what goes on behind the scenes. So it's up to us to educate them.
Mhm.
So I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, it did. It did. But yeah, there's a lot of different ways you can take that objection, and all circumstantial, 100%. Right. But as you suggested, it's making it about them and that you want to earn their business. Fine if you don't want to work with me just yet or you're not ready. What can I do to earn it?
Yep. And I remember that. Oh my God. It's funny how in all of the calls I've made, how certain ones stick out. And one in particular that sticks out when I was calling the expireds. And he's like, just mail me something. And I said, sir, can I ask you a question? Sure. How many phone calls have you had in the last couple of days? Oh my God, hundreds. Okay. How many agents did you tell to send you something? And he said, everybody. I said, so if I send you something, you're not even going to remember who I am when you get that in the mail. What can I do different? I don't want to be that average agent that just sends you something because I'm not average.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to remember me. What can I do differently that is going to set me apart to earn your business? And he's like, I don't know. He seriously said, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I said, sir, when do you want to go back on the market? I know you have a lot of life going on right now. When do you want to go back on the market? And this was like, I don't know, September, October. And he said, the first of the year. When can I call you back? Or when can I just stop over? Do you mind if I just stop over? Can I just stop over and meet you? Just put face to face? Sure. It's not that hard. We just have to get out of our comfort zone
Mm-hmm.
and work through that fear of rejection because we're not going to win them all. Thank God, because we couldn't handle it. We really truly attract the business of where we are to grow to that next level. I look at my first transaction and I look at my last transactions, and it's hell a difference. If I could take my first transaction and completely change, there'd be a lot I would have done differently in that first transaction.
Mm-hmm.
But they trusted me. And we attracted each other because they didn't know any different. I didn't know any different. It worked out fine. Could have it worked out better? Yeah, but what did I learn from it? I mean, how I remember one of my first like 10 transactions, my buyer, we put a contract on their property or on a property, and we did a home inspection like for 10 days. I forgot to order the home inspection. We never did it. The seller was a real estate agent. She called me. She says, Bev, you have like 1 day to do your home inspection. And I said, oh my God. She says, Bev, I get it. I'm totally going to let it go. My buyers never knew. My buyers never knew. We did the home inspection. She made a couple fixes. We got through it. I got freaking lucky. but I never made that mistake again. And if we're afraid of making mistakes, we are never going to grow and we're never going to go to that next level. So don't hold yourself back because you don't feel that you have the experience, because that is what creates the experience. Feel forward.
Yep.
But just, yeah, don't be afraid to have those conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be afraid to ask the questions. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there and actually promise somebody that you're going to follow up and follow through, because that's how they want you to earn the business. And it just becomes more fun then, because the relationships are much stronger and much deeper, because it's really developing that trust.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Yeah. It's
Awesome.
the game.
Yep. Yeah, all live and learn.
We do.
Yep.
We do. So I can't stress enough, keep your dashboard organized, and honestly, go out there and start creating leads, not just from Google, not just from Facebook. Get out in your community, get in front of people, call your sphere, tell them that you've set goals, ask them for help. Don't be afraid of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Awesome. Yeah.
that's where it's at.
That's, yep. It's a great place to start. That's for sure.
Agent Locator is your vehicle, and you want to continue to put gas in the vehicle. You want to continue to change the oil. You want to continue to add the washer fluid. You have to take care of your car, or your car's going to stop.
Yep. 100%.
Yes. I loved it. I love
Awesome.
these kind of conversations.
Yeah.
These are
Good.
fun.
Awesome. And as always, if you guys, anyone ever wants to be our guest of honor and talk to Beverly directly with respect to your system, your approaches, what have you, just reach out to me, or you can go through support if that's easier. We'll get you on the list. We're always looking. You guys all enjoy these. Everyone's a little bit timid about being, in the spotlight. So let's change this and get you guys off to a great start and, moving throughout the second half of spring or spring into summer.
Yep. Awesome. Well, I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Sounds good. Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Thank you for your time.
See ya.